In this video, I'll be making my version of cowboy chicken. My father-in-law makes this at his restaurant with 2 layers of cheese, grilled jalapenos, and sauteed onions. To begin, we are going to work on the sauteed onions because these will need the longest time to cook. In a hot skillet with butter, I'm adding my sliced purple onion, and I'm using purple just because I like the taste more than white, but if you like white onions, you could definitely use that. We are going to cook this low and slow for an hour, stirring throughout. You do not want this to burn, so take your time cooking it. For our chicken breast, we are going to pat them dry, and my breasts are on the larger side, so I'm using this mallet I got from Target to try to even them out. You could definitely use a wooden mallet or even a rolling pin. Honestly, whatever you have on hand that will even out your chicken, go ahead and use it. Now for your blackening seasoning, you could definitely make your own, but I had a little bit of this HEB brand left, so this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going in with 1.5 tablespoons worth, and then a little bit of parsley and some olive oil to help mix it all up. And yes, I know I need to invest in some gloves before I touch chicken because every single time it makes my hands itch so bad, but we're just gonna go with what we have right now. Once mixed up, I did go back in with a little bit of that seasoning and just kind of pressed it down. I let my chicken sit for a few minutes while I went back to the onions and added a little bit of salt and gave them another stir. So I'm using my pot lid to cover it a little and help the onions cook faster. I wanted to expand this recipe and try making a sauce. I'm using 2 ounces of mayo and this Cajun 2-step seasoning that y'all have seen me use before. This is what it looks like. So I'm going in with 1 teaspoon of seasoning and 1 drop of this gator drool. And in case you're wondering, my husband ordered this. I actually have no idea who this guy is, but he makes some good seasonings, so you might want to check him out. I needed some more, so I went back in with another tablespoon and a little bit more of that Cajun drool, and I set this into the fridge. When I order the cowboy chicken at the steakhouse, I actually completely change it up even more than this recipe. I order it blackened with cheddar cheese, jalapenos, and bacon. It's so good and everyone always stares whenever it comes out. So if you would like to try that version, let me know and I'll leave the recipe down below. So while our bacon is cooking, I did go back to my onions and gave it another stir just to make sure that nothing was burning. And the lid actually worked out pretty well. It did help it cook just a little bit faster. Once your bacon is cooked the way you would like it, we are just going to remove it and place it onto a paper towel, but we are going to keep all of the grease in the pan. We are just going to be placing each of our chicken breasts in here, and at the end I ended up coming up with 2 chicken breasts because that smaller one cooked a whole lot faster than the other, and I felt like the pan was a little crowded, so I ended up placing another chicken breast to the side and cooked that in a separate pan. But at this point, our onions are basically cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and take those out and then just place them to the side. I did add a little bit of butter to the pan just to make sure that the chicken didn't dry out while everything kind of melted. We're going to just go ahead and layer in some of that sauce right on top. And Sheldon didn't want the onions, so I went ahead and just added those to my chicken breast. Top the chicken with your bacon, and you can leave this whole or you can break it up. I went ahead and just broke mine up because I felt it would be a little bit easier to cut into. So place your bacon right on top. And we are going to be using pepper jack cheese, but the original recipe is cheddar cheese. So I just added my cheese and pressed down a little bit. In hindsight, I should have placed the chicken in the oven to finish cooking and melt the cheese, but I didn't think about it at the time. I just placed the lid over for a little while until the cheese was nice and melted. Now go ahead and remove from the heat, and I'm going to pre-cut mine before I plate it, but doesn't that look so pretty? The cheese melted just nice, and we're going to go ahead and cut into it, just making sure that everything is cooked. Those onions right on top were honestly perfect. I've never sauteed onions before, but they turned out really good, so I'm super proud of that. You could definitely add some jalapenos to this if you wanted a little bit more spice with that blackening seasoning. I loved pairing the onions and that Cajun sauce. I'm gonna have to try that with some more recipes. I just might have to talk to my father-in-law about making this a new menu item. But for more chicken recipes, click here and I'll catch you guys there.